Hey guys, karibuni sana to yet another super amazing, super delicious, super fun episode here at Kaluhi'S kitchen. So for today, I'm prepping to go into a creative hiatus, and when I go into that phase of my creative journey, I just feel a bit lazy, and today I'm also feeling quite lazy, and my cooking will embody that. That means we're going to make a lazy meal. A lazy meal does not mean it's going to be flat and boring. Like, we don't have time for flat, boring things. It's going to be speedy, lazy, but still very, very delicious. For that, we're going to make some fried rice. It's going to have some chicken, some French beans, some full-bodied spices. Very delicious, but fast to make. Thank you for being here. If you're yet to subscribe, finger your red button. If you already have, thank you so much. And with that said, let's get started. Karibuni sana. Here we are prepped and ready to go, and before we proceed, we need to do a quick run through of the amazing ingredients I have laid out over here. The first ingredient I am going to start with are red onion, garlic, ginger, and a bucket load I don't know what I want to say, and a bucket load of dania stems, along with some bay leaves. I want a nice, very full-bodied herby base, which will blossom into the rest of the dish as we go along. And with cooking, remember, when you start with a nice, flavorful base, the dish in its entirety will turn out perfectly. So don't forget that. For this dish, we are going with a herby base, and I've already said the ingredients, so always keep that in mind as you cook. For my spices, I went with coriander spice, cumin, mixed spices, and some black pepper. Coriander spice and cumin in particular and in combination are a match made in heaven. Unaona vile wewe na boyfriend wako mko a match made in heaven? Bas. Even the cumin na coriander iko. I like that for my fried rice and also for my savory dishes and a variety of vegetable stews. And for this dish, I thought, why not? I also decided to add some French beans for a bit of freshness and crunch. I love my French beans, and as you can see, mine are just very lightly seared so that they retain the color and the crunch and the nutrients as well. And pia wewe when you wanna watch, please don't overcook them, don't overboil them. Like, guys, that gothic type of cooking, I don't know. This is not a horror movie. Please make beautiful food. Don't overdo it. Don't overboil. Please. Anyway, initially I also wanted to use broccoli, but since I didn't find some in my supermarket, I went with French beans. I also love broccoli. So if you also have some broccoli, you can also maybe use only broccoli or maybe a combination of broccoli and French beans. Next, this being a fried rice dish, rice is a major ingredient. For me, I had some leftover rice in my fridge, and that's what I'm using today. One thing I have to emphasize is, regardless of whether you're using freshly cooked rice or leftover rice, make sure it's well cooked rice. It doesn't matter if it's pishori or basmati or brown rice. Well cooked rice has to be moja, like singular grains. Mchele ugali please, mchele keki, disaster. Learn how to cook mchele moja, and I showed you exactly how on Instagram a few months ago, and I'm going to link it down below, so go and watch and see. Last ingredient, my chicken. I love fried rice that has chicken, and for me, I marinated mine last night. I marinated mine with thyme, garlic, pepper. What did I use? Balsamic vinegar and a tiny bit of salt as well. You can use any marinade. I also want to add some rosemary, but I didn't feel like going outside and getting some. But you can use whichever marinade works for you. Let it sit overnight so that the next day your chicken has some inherent flavor of its own. That said, I think we're ready to start cooking. Cynthia, twende tuanze. Everything is cooking down very well. and it looks amazing. It smells even better. Ooh! And my kitchen is filled with the warmest aromas. I love, love, love how this initial cooking phase smells. It's a very beautiful aroma. I have said this time and time again, but allow me to repeat. Dania stems, musiko mnatupa kwa dustbin. They are a very potent, very amazing kitchen ingredient. Once you have your bunch of dania, just separate the leaves from the stems, cut off the roots, and the stems themselves, use them for this initial cooking phase of cooking anything. Is that English? I don't know if I made sense. I also decided to use some dried bay leaves for this dish. Not only do bay leaves have some amazing aromatic qualities, but they also add some nice deep complexity to any dish you cook it with. I bought mine in the local supermarket, but if you can access some fresh bay leaves, even better. Besides the very amazing flavor and aromatic qualities, bay leaves are also good for your body because they aid in keeping your skin healthy, anti-cancer properties, anti-inflammatory qualities, helping memory retention. There are so many. You can look them up online. Spices. They are good for you, good for your tongue, good for your tummy, and good for your overall health. Now that the onions are softened and fragrant, perfect as they should be, we're going to move on to the spices. And the first one that I'm going to add is my black pepper, mixed spices, my cumin powder, and my coriander powder. I'm going to mix everything in and allow them to saute for a couple of minutes. You guys, I'm getting excited. This smells so good. And out of the 4 spices I have used, the one that's most potent aromatically is the mixed spices, and it's the spice that's really going to shine in this dish. It's also very important for you to allow your spices to cook down so that at the end of your dish, the feel of your dish in your mouth is not sandy and grainy. And you also want the flavors to really come together, and you don't want, if you rush it, the flavors at the end will be singular and very separate. You want everything to come together in terms of flavor, and also for your spices to cook down to avoid that very unpalatable, grainy, sandy feeling of undercooked spices. For this dish as well, I choose not to add any salt because my leftover rice already has some salt, and also I'm using some dark mushroom soy sauce later on in this dish, which also has some salt, and because of those 2 key things, I choose not to add any more salt. But if you cook this recipe and you personally feel that you require a bit more salt, feel free to add some. How every single spice I use in every single recipe I put on this channel and on my blog is available in our local supermarket, and for the exact quantities of these particular dishes spices, they're going to be linked on my blog, link down below, kamakawa. So for the next phase, we're going to grab the chicken that had marinated overnight, and we're just going to add it in with all the marinade ingredients. Yes, it's raw, and because it's cut into very thin strips, as you can see, it will cook very fast, under 6 minutes, I guarantee you. And in case you go, I'm not lying to you, please trust me, it's going to turn out very well. And in case you're just doubting, just take 1 strip of chicken, cut it, and just confirm after the 5 minute mark. Don't boil and then add here. You can do that because it's a free world, but if you do that, prepare yourself for dry, very boring chicken. And me, by the way, we don't do dry and here at Kaluhi'S kitchen. Please, just 5 minutes, a quick sear. And remember, the thinner you cut your chicken, the faster it will cook. Of course, the time will vary. If you use a whole drumstick, it will take a bit longer. But I advise you for fried rice because it's a quick dish, just chicken strips. Sour. Now that that's clear, turn the leg. already tell my sisters are going to really love this dish. So now I'm going to give my chicken about a minute or so on the heat, and then thereafter I'm going to take my leftover rice, which is already ready, and then add it into the sufuria along with the chicken, a dash of soy sauce, mix everything in, and then mnakumbuka the French beans we had from earlier on? Yes, we're going to add them as the last thing because they're already cooked and we don't want them to go beyond the point of recognition. We add them at the end so that they retain the color and texture that we so much love. So that said, let's finish up cooking. Few moments later, and here we are with the perfect, absolute perfect lazy day meal. It looks so pretty, you guys have to admit, and it's so easy to put together. And I hope you guys try this out with your friends, family, and even by yourself if you live alone. We have to taste this, and so I have to set this aside and grab the small portion I put kando just for tasting for this recipe. You know guys, lazima uonje. Let's see. Perfect. I appreciate the freshness and the crunch that the French beans introduced to this dish. The chicken is nice and juicy yet perfectly cooked through. You can get the warmth of the garlic and the ginger, the fullness of the mixed herbs, the cumin and the coriander spice. And overall, it's also a very beautiful dish. So you eat with your eyes first before you feast and enjoy it in your tummy. This is indeed perfect. You guys have really, lazima you try this out. Don't forget, the exact recipe quantities are on my blog, link on my description box. Do subscribe if you're yet to. Try this out, take many pics and tag me on any social media platform. I would love to show you off. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoy the rest of your day. For me, it's now time to go and eat. Kwaherini sana na nawapenda sana.